Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Papa D's at the train in Fordsburg, Johannesburg, South Africa. Today I have on our show a very special young man, Chef Musa Lambert, who's been my assistant through the entire filming of the series, and he's done all the hard work behind the scenes. And today I want Chef Musa to prepare something different for you. Chef Lambert, what will you be preparing for us today?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Papa D, thanks Jazakallah for having me here today with you on the show. Today I'm going to be preparing for you a steak Diane. It's a classical French dish. It's not very difficult to make, so bear with me and I'll introduce you to the dish as I move along and you'll be able to make it at home. You can put the pan on for me. Put the flame on. Perfect, there we go.
Do you want it quite high or shall I keep it low?
The heat needs to be quite high, because when we put the butter in, you'll see it will start to burn, and that's exactly what we want. For now I'm going to start with a fillet. I'm going to cut it into medallions. It's about 1 inch thick. That's perfect. Okay. Next I'm going to season the fillet steak with salt and pepper. But the pepper only goes in afterwards. Because the pan is so hot, the pepper is going to scorch. So it will just be seasoned with salt in the beginning, and then the pepper will go into the sauce afterwards. So it's on both sides. Right, that's perfect. Next step, we put the butter in. Pan has to be quite hot. Right, should be fine. Circular. Okay. Once the butter is in, as it starts melting, it will start getting brown. And we want it to burn. We want it to get, as it burns, it's get a beautiful nutty flavor, which helps enhance the flavor of the beef by tenfold. Let's put a little bit more in. Perfect.
MashaAllah, that's already getting the butter, the aroma of the butter.
You can smell the aroma of the butter. As you can see, as it starts foaming, underneath it's starting to get brown, and you can smell it's burning. As you can see, it's starting to caramelize at the bottom of the pan. And we just want it a little bit more than that, and then we'll be ready to go. As you can see there, that's exactly what we want. Okay, now to prevent it from burning further, a little trick, add a little bit of olive oil. Just a little bit, give it another mix. It will prevent it from burning too much, because then it will become bitter. Now the olive oil has a higher tolerance for heat than what butter does, so it balances it out. You get the flavor and you get the right color that you need. I'm going to be putting some fresh thyme into the butter. You need it to pop, just be careful about the splash. But as it pops, that's perfectly what you want. Thyme is an amazing herb to use when you're cooking any sort of beef or lamb. Thyme is amazing. It's like rosemary to lamb, thyme is to beef. Okay, so now the fillet will go in. Put it in the butter. One side. Over there. Move it up a bit. So now that will give it a nice sear and a beautiful caramelization as well. While that's getting a sear off, I'm going to be chopping some mushrooms for the sauce, which I'll carry on afterwards.
It's amazing how different recipes require different preparations. I, for one, didn't want the butter to caramelize, and in this instance, the caramelizing of the butter is essential to the dish.
Thinly slicing the mushrooms, because the thinner if you slice it the way I have sliced it, not too thin, you have a greater surface area and you can release more flavor from the mushrooms. I'm turning the fillet over. As you can see, there's a beautiful caramelization on the meat. Gives it a nice crisp sear as well. Gives it a nice crisp sear, and you can smell the flavors of the thyme growing in with the meat, right? You can get that smell. It smells amazing. Okay, we've got the one side sealed off. I personally like my meat a bit medium rare. So I'm going to take it off and I'll put it back into the sauce a little bit later. Now the reason for taking it off now as well is we're resting the meat. When you rest the meat, it allows all the juices from the meat to absorb back into it. As the fibers cool down, it absorbs back into it and it retains its moisture and tendency. Okay, now we'll start with making the sauce. Get some onions in there. As you see, we're using the same pan. Onions.
Yes, you don't want to lose the flavor of the
you're
meat.
keeping
Some of the juices of the meat have already infused into the sauce.
exactly, because there's a lot of flavor and you don't want that to go to waste. So we just give that a nice mix, right? Then the mushrooms go in the pan, spread it around nicely, evenly. Give that a quick cook because we're still going to be making a sauce in here. We don't want to overcook the mushrooms as well. Okay, so we're just getting them just coated in the butter and the onions and the garlic. Let it absorb all the flavor in. Right. Next, what I'm going to be putting into there is Dijon mustard. Dijon mustard is a French mustard. It's not as hot as English mustard. It's got a bit of a sweet flavor. And this will help enhance the flavor of the dish. It's very important. And also it will help thicken the dish up a bit as well. So about just over a teaspoon of mustard in there. Perfect. A spoon and give that another mix around. As you can smell it, dish is changing already.
Oh, the aromas are just changing. Absolutely amazing.
Next, I'm going to be using some Worcester sauce. The Worcester sauce actually deglazes the pan and releases the flavor back into the dish. You can see that.
I see you use quite a bit of Worcester sauce.
Yeah, use quite a bit because it does cook away, and there is cream going into the dish, so that will dull down it will balance the flavor. Next, what I'm adding is some beef stock. If you don't have time to make your beef stock at home like how I have, you can find it's available at Papa D's. We've got beef stock, we've got chicken stock, fish stock, and veg stock. So that you can find at Papa D's at the train in Fordsburg. So the beef stock goes in, and very important for the dish as well, some fresh cream. So we'll keep a little bit more for later as it reduces.
Oh, it's got a lovely consistency and nice color as well.
Now because the pan is on a high heat, you're going to need to keep mixing it around so the cream doesn't split because of the butter, and that's really what you don't want. You need a little bit more cream in the sauce. Perfect. As you can see around the edges of the pan, it's already reducing. Now you want this to reduce a little bit just to bring the flavors all together, and it comes out beautifully. Right. Remember I said before we didn't want to put the pepper in on the meat because it scorches and burns. So now we'll put a pinch of coarse black pepper into the dish. Just about that. As you can see, that's reducing quite beautifully. The meat will go back in. Can you have a taste of the sauce?
I'd like to taste that.
Have a taste of that.
Thank you.
There you go.
Wow, amazing. I was actually quite concerned when you used so much mustard, because mustard in itself has got a very strong, especially the English mustard, Dijon mustard.
Yeah.
So after the cooking process, it's amazing. The mustard flavor is actually almost vanished.
Yeah, because
especially
of
with the Worcester sauce.
you see, when you deglaze, the Worcester sauce as well balances it out as well. So that goes in there. So now we're cooking the meat. Okay, you can cook it to whatever temperature you would like it. Like I said before, I personally enjoy it a little bit more pink.
Wow.
Okay, let's give it another turn. Let's mix it around in there. And it can sit for about a couple of minutes or so.
I like the consistency of your sauce. The aroma is amazing, and the look of it is just as good.
We can actually now turn the pan off because the heat in the sauce will keep cooking the the fillet until it's ready the way you like it.
All right.
Your-
And
your
how are
personal
you going to
preference.
present it to us,
Today
Chef Lambert?
I'm going to present it with a baked potato because I
Okay.
think the sauce with the baked potato works really well together. It's really
Okay.
amazing. Just hits the spot.
Shall I get you the baked potato?
Yes,
from
please.
the
It's in
oven?
the oven. It's pre-cooked already. I'm just taking the plate out. So we are ready to plate. Okay. Plate out.
Here we are.
Perfect. Right, nice and hot. Now open it up. Okay, a little trick to bake potatoes. You've probably seen it before. I'll show you now again. If you make a cross on the potato, to open it up, just like that. Then with your fingers, in each quadrant of the potato, just open it up.
And it fluffs up beautifully.
Fluffs up beautifully. It goes into the plate. It's perfect. Now we
Wow.
plate. Get a hold of that. Beautiful piece of fillet. Now we pour the beautiful sauce in. You can see the sauce is nice and thick
Oh, amazing. And
with the
and
mushrooms.
With
There's
the
an-
way it's been reduced, you can see the oils have almost come to the top now.
Yeah, so you got a nice shiny sauce. The mushrooms, you can add the mushrooms into the potato. Let it soak in beautifully into the
You
potato.
wanna put it over there and then-
No, that's fine. Okay. And the sauce will go on top of the mushrooms.
That really looks delicious.
And now to garnish, I'm going to garnish with some freshly chopped parsley. Also the parsley breaks up a bit of the garlic flavor, so it's not too pungent in garlic. Just rolling the parsley up a bit, so when you chop it, it's easier, it chops up finer. Give that another chop quickly. It's perfect. So you just sprinkle that on top. And there you have it. Beautiful steak Diane, classic French dish prepared in your home.
And that'll be all from us today, from Papa D's in Fordsburg, in Johannesburg, South Africa. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.